There is no formula for creating the perfect automobile. Few cars sell well, even fewer cars rewrite history. But unfortunately, most just don't catch on and are doomed to be forgotten. Some manufacturers are really banking on you forgetting those mistakes. I'm looking at you, Chrysler. However, there are cars out there, although discontinued, will live on in our minds forever, whether it's a good or bad thing. Here are 10 of those unforgettable discontinued cars. Is it a pickup, a wagon, an SUV? No, it's a Subaru Baja. These beauties, paying homage to rally race trucks by design, were manufactured from 2002 to 2006. We're talking all-wheel drive, 4 doors, and an open bed. Versatility to the max. Subaru even offered an optional bed extender that would extend the bed by 2 feet. And the turbo version came with a cool hood scoop for good high-performance looks. You can find a Baja for just under $10,000, so they are definitely holding some value. Manufactured by Honda for a decade, the S2000 will go down as nothing short of a classic. It actually came standard as a convertible, but it didn't stop at just a fun, sporty design. The S2000 had strong power output at about 124 horsepower per liter. That's about 2 horsepower per cubic inch, the highest of any mass production naturally aspirated engine car at the time. S2000s are in high demand right now and going for anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000 depending on the model year and condition. Next up is the Volkswagen Scirocco. Now, the Scirocco was discontinued back in 1992 after an almost 2-decade run, but it was brought back in 2008 and manufactured through 2017. This hot hatch was beloved for its fierce looks. You could tell it was part of the Volkswagen Golf family, but this was the athlete of the bunch. The 2014 Scirocco R put out a solid 276 horsepower and cornered like a dream. Good luck finding one for sale. Scirocco owners are holding onto these like a long-term investment, and I think it might just pay off for the future. The Saturn Sky was a roadster produced for model years 2007 through 2010 and shared a platform with the Pontiac Solstice. Over 4 years of production, Saturn sold 32,495 Skies, but production stopped after the Pontiac and Saturn nameplates were retired. Interestingly, the Sky is still requiring a hefty price tag. I found them selling for $12,000 to $18,000 in good condition. In 1984, Toyota released a mid-engine, rear-wheel drive 2-seater and appropriately named it the Toyota MR2. They actually later changed the name due to its similarity to an unappealing French profanity. The MR2 appeared frequently on the motorsport scene in the 90s, competing in the Swiss Touring Car Championship, Southeast Asian Supercar Championship, and even the World Rally Championship as the 222D. At the time, the Mazda MX-5 had a solid grip on the roadster market, so the MR2 was marketed as a more serious track-borne car. It was discontinued back in 2007, but whispers of a return have been floating around, especially after the Supra and GT86 have made their resurgences. Third-generation MR2s in good condition are selling for $20,000 to $25,000. My last video was on the Lancer Evolution, so I'll leave it off this list, but there's another Mitsubishi that took the sports compact market by storm in the 90s. The Mitsubishi Eclipse hit production lines in 1989, and it shared parts with the Eagle Talon. The second-generation design became famous after it was driven by Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker, in 2001's Fast and Furious. You can still go see this Eclipse at the Hollywood Stars Museum in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. There was a total of 4 generations of the Eclipse over its lifetime, with the last produced from 2005 to 2011. Although there is a new Eclipse Cross, but I don't consider that to be a true Eclipse. 4th generation Eclipses are very affordable relative to the market right now, with most priced under $8,000. The Honda CRX was an economy front-wheel drive compact car when it was released to the US market in 1983. The fastest version offered only put out 76 horsepower, but after the racing scene picked up on the CRX's insane handling capability, Honda decided to up the horsepower in the US production model to 96. 1985 brought along the second generation of the CRX with a sportier look thanks to the independent double wishbone suspension setup, which allowed the hood line to drop. As the CRX continued to collect race wins throughout the world, Honda unfortunately dropped the car from its lineup in 1992, before the sports compact craze really took off. Finding a CRX on sale today is no easy task, but I've seen them going for $10,000 to $14,000 in good condition. Back in 1988, Chrysler president Bob Lutz wanted to create a modern Shelby Cobra, So he reached out to then Chrysler subsidiary Lamborghini to cast a prototype aluminum block, and they even helped build the V10 engine. The car went on sale in 1992, and it was discontinued in 2017 after 26 years. During its lifetime, the Viper set many track records around the world, including at Mazda Laguna Seca, Nürburgring, and Virginia International Raceway. Older generations of the Viper can be found for sub $60,000, but 4th and 5th generations will demand closer to $100,000. The Chevy Volt was a plug-in hybrid manufactured by General Motors in 2010, and up until 2019, it was actually the all-time top-selling plug-in hybrid in the American market. The most recent second-generation Volt had an electric range of 53 miles. Its EPA-rated fuel economy in charge-sustaining mode was 42 miles per gallon, and the combined city-highway fuel economy in all-electric mode was 106 miles per gallon. 2019 and 2018 Volts are valued at about $20,000. Older models can be found for $10,000 or less. Next up is the Toyota FJ Cruiser. This mid-sized off-roading SUV got its start as a concept car at the 2003 North American Auto Show in Detroit, but it was a historic culmination of the Toyota FJ40 from the 1960s. The FJ Cruiser was met with overwhelmingly positive support and was fast-tracked into production by 2007. Known for its outlandish design, the FJ Cruiser had suicide doors, a completely flat windshield, and the interior of the car was made from waterproof plastic so that you could wash the inside of the car after hitting the dunes or the backcountry. Toyota sold over 100,000 FJs in the first 2 years, but that number dramatically declined in the years to follow, averaging 14,000 sales per year. So in 2014, production ended. They are still holding their value well, selling for $30,000 to $40,000.